Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you, for everyone complete beginners, how to essentially work through modifying and finding public exploits to use in our scenario. And if you're also following a line using the tech lists, then I recommend that you can already, by watching this video, and if you vaguely understand it, you can already change number 26 and number 27, finding and modifying public exploits, to vaguely familiar after you've finished this video. But yeah, so you're already making progress, and that's great to see. But for now, please enjoy the video, and I hope you learn a lot. Basically, again, what we're doing now is fingerprinting. We want to find information about the server. Why do we do it? So we can look up public exploits, right? So now, let's search up SPIP, right? And we can see there's several public exploits in the exploit DB, the exploit database. Exploit DB, right, so exploit database. So this is essentially when we're using searchploit right here, this is just a command line tool to be able to essentially parse through the various exploits that's in this exploit database right here. So if we go back, SPIP 4.2.0, which is the exact version. And even if it was something version like a bit lower, like 4.1.9 or something like that, we definitely still want to be testing because this one is later, right? So this is very interesting. So it says version 4.2, this 0.0, exactly the one we want. Remote code execution, exactly what we want. Basically means that we can execute code on the server, and it also says unauthenticated. Now, what unauthenticated means is that we don't actually have to have any valid login credentials for user access to be able to get remote code execution. So this is perfect. This is exactly what you want. So this is essentially a vulnerable version of this SPIP. And if we look up SPIP, what it actually is, let's say, software, if there's much on it on publishing system for the internet, in which great importance attached, blah, 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 blah. Publishing system. Yeah, that's it. So some form of publishing system. You can use websites. You can also check on, so you can also see that it says CMS. This stands for Content Management System. By the way, WordPress is also a CMS, a content management system. SPIP is a content management system written in PHP that uses one or more databases like SQL, SQLite, PostgreSQL. So you can see how useful this extension is, right? That's why I recommend it. So now, let's try to actually utilize this public exploit. So we can do -m on the path of this one to essentially copy it locally. So we have copied it to this path right here. So let's check it out. And if you don't have gedit, you can use mousepad, for instance, to open up this. But you can just do apt install gedit to get it as well. So it's showing us some libraries that we might need to have to be able to utilize this one. It's showing us some potential flags to use. Showing us the possible path. But yeah, if you're confused by any of this, don't you worry. It's typically just perfectly fine to just, especially when you're starting out, to just run it and just see what it tells you, right? And this is just one exploit. You can always just Google this as well, right? Just looking for SPIP, POC, SPIP, public exploit, GitHub, SPIP RCE, GitHub, like stuff like that. Just search SPIP 4.20, POC, GitHub, or anything like that, and try to find exploit code on GitHub as well. We can just do that now, just to show you. GitHub POC. So there we can see the thing mentioned as well on the exploit database. So it is mentioning the same probably exploit, right? But this is just a nice thing because sometimes perhaps there's in the POC when you look for the search point, but there is perhaps in GitHub, or maybe this one just doesn't work and you just want to try a different one that fixes some issue and then it works again. And POC, this stands for proof of concept, right? It's basically just the code that works to do the job or illustrate the fact that what you're targeting is vulnerable. So let's try. So the URL, let's essentially just let's just blindly try it. So let's say something like that, and then to the run bed, it wants a command. So let's say we just want to run whereby, and let's see verbose. So it essentially cancels this error, chases the attribute default ciphers again. So typically when you cover something like this and you have absolutely no idea what this means, you can either Google it, use AI, ask around, right? Typically I would recommend you Googling it or using AI to check out if it's something that you're not familiar with, right? And stuff like this is very important because you'll be a ton of errors that will come over time that you should be discussed to learn. And the whole point is to learn, right? So let's say this person fixed this putting this supposed LAN. So this person said they used that to fix it. I'm misreading a lot a bit. So this person says that this will equivalent simply, so we can just try that. Simple as that. And once again, we have a snapshot of the machine. So even if it breaks, it really doesn't matter, right? So have you encountered a different error, right? And this is just a part of doing machines and really just in general, right? It's troubleshooting. So essentially what this error tells us is the fact that to be able to do this, we need to be using a virtual environment, Python. And you can do it by essentially doing this. So we want to be running Python, and then the -m is the module, and then run this virtual environment, and then pass to it, I will just say punctuation mark to decide it to this current. Now you might not have this installed, so you might have to install Python virtual environments. But once again, you can Google that, or maybe to tell yourself, put or you can as a gent in a dent, it's going to be fine. And after you've done that, we need to be running source, bin, and then activate. And then if you take a look at the root part right now, and then we run this, now we're essentially in a virtual environment. So if you go up and try to run this command once again, we successfully installed That's awesome. Let's try that again. And once again, if given year, so what do? We can once again Google it, but it is from making progress, right? So the AA instant suggests something like this. So let's just try running that. And let's try again. And then once again, if given the error, right? So I think this is very important to show you guys as well. I understand this might not be the most exciting, but it's very, very useful. Just being able to do basic Googling and just testing like this, and you will learn a ton over time as you go. So if you're confused by this, I definitely can understand that. This is something called CSRF token, and it's specific to how the website handles the requests. But essentially, let's see. So if we go back to the dashboard, as a PHP. So we can close all of this for now. Okay, so it tries to do something with this parameter, but or as pip.php is not in the root of the directory, right? So it doesn't look like this for us. It looks like this for us, okay? So I think we have to add this into the export like so. Let's try it again. And that looks better. So it tried to execute this, but it doesn't give output if it actually wrote or not. So we could try like a different one. And it once again shows the payload that I don't know if it actually wrote or not. So I'm going to assume this is only called blind. So what I essentially want to do now, because this again, once again, this is an RCE, okay? And this looks promising so far, but it doesn't give us outputs that the server said like, because normally when you run ID, it gives us this output. It's not giving me this output, right? So I want to see if it's actually working or not. So I'm going to try a few different things. You can curl, for instance, let's say, home0. This is our IP you want to be using, okay? We don't want to be using this one. This is the normal network adapter for the Ethernet, right? But we are once again connected to the PM, right? That's the whole reason we can communicate to this IP. Once again, if I do this, I should talk to it. If I kill the VPN, right? If I try running IP again, you see that the ton0 disappeared. We don't longer have ton0. And when I try to ping a target, it doesn't merge. That is because of the VPN. So if I once again connect to the VPN, initialization sequence computed, that's good. And I try to ping the target again, we can now reach it, right? So we want the target to be able to reach us back at our VPN IP, okay? And this is the VPN IP we want. So I'm going to be essentially running curl. That's it. So I'm going to be essentially running curl. This is just the way to make a web request, and then I'll see if it communicates back. It does not seem like it does. I'm going to try a different port. It does not do so, it seems like. I'm going to try a different... I'm going to try some different payloads. So we can go to browseshells.com. We can also click right here to to copy right key. So you should now copy this, I pressed there, and now hit for X. So we do that IT, we can do over for data, for instance. And then let's try some different payloads. So this is going to be a Linux server. We'll find here because port 88 is open. And that is, SSH in typical lab means that it's Linux. Let's try something like this. Essentially, what I'm trying now is that we know that this is a public exploit, right? That version, a specific version. So I'm assuming this is going to work, right? This is the right path for the exploit to be working, but we have not yet managed to make the server connect back to us or give us proof that it's executing code. So let's just show what we're trying to prove right now. And there is a few different ways. Limit has something probably the quickest. What we do with curl is a good idea. Hosting a web server and then try to call back to the web server. This is a good idea. You could also try something like neftent. Also didn't work. A very solid one to change is to run some the next sleep. Okay, yeah. And this seems to work, right? So this is good. So we're essentially an A team. The server sleep. So when I hit sleep right there and try to type something, it doesn't work because Raquel is sleeping. We're doing the same thing on the server. So if I've do like sleep 1, this should be fast. It is. If I do sleep 5, this should be slow, right? It's still coming back. So this is a way to verify in this case that this is working, okay? So all we need to do now is essentially find a way to get a shell on this machine. So let's try the different payloads. Now, this is where you want it to bad, right? But when we try to copy this, let's say, put 80. This is working fine, or the payload at least. Let's say, so we want Linux. But yeah, if it was something like this, it might mess up things, but maybe not. But there are some things that are secure when it comes to like bash. By for instance, like special characters like this, it can be a bit messy. But let's try it several payloads more. We can also check different ports. Let me try the Python one. This one is definitely going to be an issue, I believe. Just doing like so, wait. Then, like, this completely messes up with the quotes. So a way to get around this, which is very helpful, is just actually do something like tests. You put it in here, and then you cap the tests, and then pipe it into base64 in code, like some. And now what you can do now, he said in the payload, but this is once again a row shell that tries to connect back to us with our IT on this port with Python 3. Okay, that's all that it's doing. We can now do echo this output and then base64 decoded like so, and then piped into bash so it will execute. That once again did not for each. We can try Nova Python 1 as well. Let's do the same thing. Git test. Copy that. And I apologize if this is a bit tedious. We have proofs that the server is executing code. So this is very good. We just need to find the right one, essentially. Normally it's mapped and it's tedious, but the server is a bit being a bit difficult at the moment. Let's try this one. Whoops. There we go. So this one right there. And now we can see that we have control over this server. So this is awesome. Now, if you enjoy how I teach and you enjoy this video and you want to take the OSCP, then what are you doing not being in this course? It's over 15 hours long and it covers everything that you need. If you're only watching the videos on YouTube, you're missing out a lot because it's over 15 hours of content. You will get access to the VIP section on Discord where you can ask me any questions and you can study alongside all the other students in our course. Right now, you will also get access to this checklist right here, which will cover at least 95% plus of all the attacks and all the techniques that you need to know for every single section. Not only initial access, but AD, pivoting, Linux, and Windows privilege escalation. And the goal for you is to reach proficient or at least basic competence on all of them. That's one of the things. We also have this entire roadmap right here, where there's a bunch of action steps and a bunch of cheat sheets inside all of these hyperlinks that I can't show you in this video. But once you have completed all of them, you know for a fact that you will be ready to get into the OSCP exams and absolutely crush it. If that sounds interesting to you, to get all of this in 15-hour plus of video footage of someone who has OSCP, who explains different attacks and techniques and methodologies, it's going to be invaluable to you. Now, some people are confused with the offer. If you're interested in the notes, these are the notes that you will constantly see me use in the videos, right? They're pretty much recommended to go hand in hand with the course, and I use them constantly in the course itself, right? So I think you'll find it extremely useful. That's also why we have the third offer, which is the bundle, where you can buy both of these together for a discount. I hope that clarifies things. Best of luck on your OSCP journey. I really hope this will be massively useful to you. I'll see you in the next video.